A man faces multiple charges, including the attempted murder of a police officer.
A new addition for EKU has the campus buzzing.
And a new security feature could have you protecting your credit card with a smile.
WKYT News starts now with breaking news.
Right now, police are at the scene of a deadly crash in Woodford County. It happened about an hour ago on US 60 near the entrance to the Bluegrass Parkway.
Police tell us a pickup and a car collided head-on. One of the drivers died at the scene. The other was taken to UK Hospital. Police say westbound US 60 is closed near the crash scene and will be for at least another hour. Right now, traffic is being detoured onto the parkway. There's no word yet on what caused that accident. We'll keep you posted on that traffic in that area. A fugitive found in Lexington is now facing several charges in multiple counties.
Police arrested 38-year-old David Suarez last Thursday during a traffic stop on Manowar Boulevard. Suarez had warrants out of Garrett County for attempted murder of a police officer, fleeing or evading, burglary, drug trafficking, and wanton endangerment. Hillary Thornton has more in our top story at 5:30.
The sheriff here in Garrett County is relieved that Suarez is finally behind bars weeks after he says he tried to run down one of his deputies. Attempted murder of a police officer is just one of the charges David Suarez is facing in Garrett County.
It's one thing to just break the law or minor violations or things like that, but when you take chances like that and you're willing to harm an officer, you're taking it to a totally another level.
The charges stemming from an encounter back on March 10th with Deputy Keith Addison after Deputy Addison was called to the BP station for possible drug activity in the parking lot during busy business hours. As he knocked on the driver's side window, the driver threw the vehicle in reverse and sped off, actually hitting Deputy Addison's unit. The driver put it in forward and sped towards Deputy Addison. He had to jump out of the way. Deputies identifying that driver as Suarez, known by the nickname Drummer Dave. Well-known individual in the drug intelligence community. Suarez accused of trafficking various drugs, including heroin. Another reason Sheriff Tim Davis is glad Suarez is off the streets. It's a serious drug that ends in death, and we want to stop it. Which is why Sheriff Davis has zero tolerance for those bringing it into his community. A strong message for those thinking about trying it. The day that you choose to start doing heroin, you need to go to one of our local funeral homes and go ahead and pre-plan your funeral arrangements, because that's where heroin's going to take you. In Garrett County, Hillary Thornton, WKYT.
Strong message there. Sheriff Davis says the whole situation at the gas station could have ended really much worse. He says the deputy had his weapon drawn as Suarez drove towards him, but because there were other people around, he chose not to fire.
A fire is causing problems at an eastern Kentucky state park. The May Lodge at Jenny Wiley State Resort Park caught fire last night. The lodge is where people register, and it's also where the diner is located. Prestonsburg and Allen volunteer firefighters responded to the scene. Officials say the fire started in an electrical panel.
There were no injuries to employees or guests. The staff acted quickly to evacuate the buildings and move the guests to a safe area.
The lodge is temporarily closed as repairs are made, while other park amenities like the convention center and cottages remain open.
What a nice day out there. We had plenty of sunshine and warm weather in the Bluegrass, but change is on the way.
All this warm air could lead to a bumpy Thursday for us. Let's check in now with WKYT's Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey with more.
Yeah, thunderstorms will likely come calling in waves as we go into our Thursday. Certainly not going to storm the entire day tomorrow, but you mentioned the really warm air out there today with some sun. Now late evening or late afternoon, early evening, I should say, a little bit of cloud cover beginning to creep on into town. Look at the temperature. Though 77 Jackson, Corbin, 74 Frankfort, 72 Lexington, where overcast is just a little thicker, and also continue to watch that what looks like a forest fire breaking out on the Jackson Cam into Breathitt County. 72 Lexington and Mount Sterling. Danville at 72. Cool spot is Somerset down to 70. Warmer to the east where you've had a little more in the way of some sunshine, but there high clouds are beginning to stream on into town. Look at all the severe weather back to our west. Numerous counties with severe thunderstorm warnings and and tornado warnings. That's not impacting our weather in the short term. If you're out this evening, it's a warm one. We say into the 60s right on through 11 o'clock. And we'll come back in just a little bit and check on traffic and that 7-day forecast that will have a lot of cold weather to follow the storms.
Federal officials are helping police in southern Kentucky find the people responsible for vandalizing an African-American heritage center. Our county-by-county coverage at 5:30 begins in Laurel County. The letters KKK were spray painted on a sign outside of the Laurel County African-American Heritage Center. Workers say they noticed the vandalism yesterday morning. The vandalism is being investigated now as a hate crime. In Knox County, a father is facing charges after his 3-year-old child was discovered with cuts and bruises all over his body. State police arrested 42-year-old Creighton Hill and charged him with criminal abuse after his child was sent to the hospital from school by Knox Social Services. The child had bruises and cuts on their face, head, chest, back, arms, and legs. The 3-year-old and 2 other children were removed from the residence and placed with other family members. Hill was arrested and taken to the Knox County Detention Center. In McCreary County, officials are trying to identify human remains found yesterday. The remains were found in the Day Ridge area near the Natural Arch Scenic area. State police believe the remains have been there for several months. Today, the coroner says an anthropologist is being called in because the remains are so skeletal, saying they can't even determine a gender at this time.
Lawmakers say they're making progress toward an agreement on how to spend more than $65 billion in public money the next 2 years. House and Senate leaders met this morning in a secret meeting over the budget. Republican Senate President Robert Stivers told reporters it was one of the most productive hours he's had in the negotiations so far. A deal could come as soon as Friday when the full House and Senate convene again. There are some exciting things happening at EKU, the school announcing a new addition to its football stadium.
Sabira Rayford shows us what the new addition will look like and what it could mean for the entire EKU athletics program in a story that's new at 5:30.
Let's do it. It's EKU football time.
On a fall Saturday afternoon in Richmond, you can hear Roy Kidd Stadium rocking for the Colonels. Well, maybe not the entire stadium. The school removed the visitors' side last year. EKU quarterback Benny Coney says he knew there was something different about the stadium when he ran out on the field.
Kind of weird because you'll look over there, like we used to look over there when we run out the tunnel to heckle their players a little bit, and so now you look over there, it's like no crowd, no nothing over there.
That will all change by the fall of 2017. EKU will unveil a $10 million addition to the visitor side. That will include 3,000 seats, a player lounge, and a new locker room.
When you talk about the student-athlete experience, if we went into the locker room in the building here behind us, you would see that we have a very outdated locker room.
EKU officials say new facilities like this could increase the chances of upgrading into a higher conference. Last year, the Colonels tried to make it into the Sun Belt Conference, but were not invited.
I think it's twofold. I think there's the opportunity to be as successful as we can where we are, but to make ourselves attractive should those opportunities arise in the future.
Now, there is some talk of renovating the home side of the field within the next 10 years. But for now, this is Coney's last year. He won't be around for the new facility. He just wants what is best for the program.
Like, as long as we do what we got to do to keep making it to where they want to do things for us, and that's all right with me. I don't care if I don't get the chance to experience as long as the young guys get to.
In Richmond, Sabira Rayford, WKYT.
And construction on the new football facility will begin in July or August.
I don't know about you, but I have dozens of passwords for various accounts and groups, and it can be frustrating keeping track of all of them. Well, soon your face could replace them. MasterCard is putting a new face on passwords.
You get to pick whether you want the biometric fingerprint or your face.
Cheryl Guerin, Executive Vice President of Products and Solutions, showed us how it works.
Hold this, take my picture, and there it goes. I could do it again. It goes quick. And then it shows.
I was going to say that was really quick.
It's really quick.
So instead of typing in a password, the new MasterCard ID check lets you use a selfie to confirm purchases.
The technology basically assigns a value to your face, the shape, the exact length of your nose, etc.
The selfie is the latest in biometric authentication, from the fingerprint reader on iPhones to an iris scanner available on some Microsoft phones. CNT's Laura Haltala believes it's a growing trend.
It's a little weird giving over your physical, personal information to a business, and it can feel a little invasive. But yes, it can be a lot more secure. It's very hard to fake biometric information.
The MasterCard selfie feature has users blink.
It can't be somebody taking a picture of you and putting it in front of the phone to authenticate. The blink lets us know that it's really you and it's happening right now.
Selfie Pay will be available this summer, and not just with MasterCard. Many banks will be providing MasterCard's technology to their online customers as well. And it addresses a huge problem. Credit card fraud in the last year was well over $100 billion in the United States.
Still ahead on WKYT, an emotional speech from Governor Bevin capped off a ceremony honoring veterans of the Vietnam War.
I'm Bill Bryant. Kentucky lawmakers went behind closed doors today to try to hash out a budget deal. And Democratic presidential candidates quietly gather money ahead of Kentucky's May primary. The bottom line is ahead.
As concrete starts going into the ground at Center Point, today marks another milestone. I'll tell you why coming up.
For all your hearth and grill needs, shop barnhillchimney.com.
This time of year, everyone in the Lexington area is excited because they know it's time for the Burke Furniture March Markdown Madness Sale. Slam dunk huge savings up to 60% off in every department.
A beautiful home begins at Burke's.
It's early, and you need a breakfast built for work days, not weekdays. Say good morning to the $3 breakfast with the chicken and gravy breakfast burrito from your DQ. Our famous chicken strip plus eggs, cheese, and pepper gravy wrapped up in a warm flour tortilla, served with crispy hash browns and coffee, all for just $3. Now this is a breakfast built for work days. The chicken and gravy breakfast burrito, just one of our delicious $3 breakfasts, only at your DQ. This is fan food, not fast food.
The AOP has had its eye on her for quite some time. We were just waiting for the right moment to move in. The vibe was anything but playful. Go. Okay. We knew we had to move in fast, but there was a crowd, so we had to play it cool. This is where the years of training paid off. We got the scratch-off ticket to her in the nick of time.
We're agents to play, man.
People think this job is all fun and games, but we take our fun seriously. That's what being an agent of play is all about.
Thank you.
Just doing our job.
Put a little play in your day with scratch-offs from the Kentucky Lottery. Fueling imagination, funding education.
At Hair Win, we've been helping people for 125 years.
If you've been injured in a life-changing accident, we can help.
Contact us at helpingkentucky.com.
Hair Win. Visit helpingkentucky.com.
Do you want to lose weight quickly and safely? Do you want to be healthy for a lifetime? Kim did and lost 238 pounds at Ageless Medical Weight Loss. Betty did and lost 135 pounds. The Ageless program is a medically supervised, affordable weight loss solution. Call today for a free consultation.
Good morning, Jennifer.
Hi, Ashley. It's great to see you. We love Ashley. She's one of our regulars.
Fresh from the oven.
At Kroger, we're family, and so are our customers. My mom always said, to have a friend, be a friend. Come back soon, Ashley.
You know we will.
Red, white, or black seedless grapes are on sale for just $1.68 a pound. And red tomatoes on the vine or broccoli crowns are only 99 cents a pound at Kroger.
There's a lot to see at Nissan now.
I'm turning heads.
And there's never been a better time to get your new Nissan. 5 exciting new models. This is Nissan Now.
Choose a $189 per month lease on the 2016 Nissan Altima or the 2016 Nissan Rogue. Hurry, offers end March 31st. Shop your local Nissan store and choose Nissan.com.
This time of year, everyone in the Lexington area is excited because they know it's time for the Burke Furniture March Markdown Madness Sale. Slam dunk huge savings up to 60% off in every department.
A beautiful home begins at Burke's.
Budget talks continued behind closed doors today in Frankfort.
And a former U.S. president is spending a lot of time on the campaign trail this year. Bill Bryant has more in today's Bottom Line.
Good evening. With time running out to enact a state budget, House and Senate leaders went behind closed doors today to try to work something out without the public or reporters watching. The Associated Press's State House reporter Adam Bean tweeted, "The conferees said no witnesses as they closed the door to work on the numbers in secret. All sides seem to agree to put more money into the woefully underfunded state retirement funds, but the sticking point remains 9% cuts to higher education. Governor Matt Bevin says the universities and colleges can absorb them, and House Speaker Greg Stumbo says the schools would have no choice but to hike tuition on students." In the race for the White House, one of the most visible people on the campaign trail right now is former President Bill Clinton, who served 2 terms in the 90s and carried Kentucky in both of his national elections. National Journal reporting today that Bill Clinton has held more public events in February and March for his wife than Hillary Clinton has attended herself. Republican presidential frontrunner Donald Trump says he gets by on 4 hours of sleep a night and doesn't need to work out regularly. Trump told People magazine that he gets a lot of exercise during his campaign events while shouting, screaming, and having fun. Now, Trump won the Kentucky Republican caucus earlier this month. The Democrats hold a presidential primary in Kentucky on May 17th. Some Kentuckians are opening up their wallets for the candidates. The latest available numbers show Hillary Clinton raising about $400,000 from Kentuckians compared to about $100,000 for Bernie Sanders. Bill Bryant, WKYT.
Today, Governor Bevin officially welcomed home veterans of the Vietnam War in a ceremony at the Capitol Rotunda. The event was attended by Vietnam veterans, where the governor signed Senate Bill 178, officially designating March 30th as Welcome Home Vietnam Veterans Day in the Commonwealth. The governor spoke before signing, becoming emotional at times, especially when speaking on the 1,100 Kentuckians who never returned from Vietnam.
The fact that I was a veteran, I was blessed to come home, and I'm healthy, and I never served in battle. I think of those who did. I think of those who have truly paid the ultimate sacrifice. I know the sacrifice. I know the impact on families, and I'm grateful for that. And this is why this is meaningful to me.
The governor says he plans to honor Vietnam veterans every March 30th throughout his term as governor.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
Very mild temperatures across the region today. It was a chilly start with some upper 30s to low 40s, but we are ending it right on cue with 70s showing up into the entire region. A little cloud cover out there as well. Those are high clouds, not going to be producing precipitation, at least in the short term. Longer term, tomorrow, can't make that promise. 72 right now in Lexington. Humidity's way, way down there. Winds are way, way up there. That's a sustained wind. Gusts around 30. Gusts late tonight, tomorrow could hit 40 to 45 miles an hour. We've got the streamlines on top of the temperatures that are into the 70s. Those winds are coming out of the south and southwest and very, very gusty. That includes parts of the Plain States. Big outbreak of severe weather ongoing across the Mississippi Valley. That is to our west in the short term. Tomorrow, that could include parts of our region, especially central and the western half of Kentucky. Defender Radar Network going to come in handy tomorrow as we track those thunderstorms in from the west. Right now, we're seeing some high clouds that are being noted across the entire region. Southwesterly flow with showers and thunderstorms across the western Ohio Valley, Mississippi Valley. Some of that will get into town early tomorrow morning. Where we see the yellow, we see the reds. Those are severe thunderstorm and tornado warnings that are out for parts of Oklahoma into Texas. 3-day threat track around here tomorrow. Moderate risk in terms of the overall impact of the weather on where you live, and that will likely include a few rounds of thunderstorms. And it's tomorrow late in the afternoon and evening we run the risk for a severe thunderstorm or two. Shower around, gusty winds on Friday. Most of the day is dry. Saturday, another front is on the move toward the area with gusty winds and the threat for even colder air to come in behind that. Hour-by-hour forecast. Here's the city of Lexington. Watch our weather and watch the winds tonight into tomorrow. Crank up. At times tomorrow morning, those winds may reach 40 to 45 miles per hour with temperatures in the 60s. Shower and thunderstorm action will try to ramp up as we go into the late afternoon and early evening hours, and it comes at us in a couple of waves. That will contain the gusty winds with temperatures through tomorrow evening staying in the 60s in most areas. Watch the winds for the entire region. Let's go into 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Look at this surge of the pinks showing up and the purples. That's wind in excess of 40 miles per hour. This is spitting out. This is our highest resolution computer model known as the RPM. It's spitting out 48 mile per hour gusts tomorrow morning into parts of the region, even a 51 mile per hour gust into southern Kentucky. Really can't believe we don't have wind advisories out for this type of a setup into the first half of tomorrow. Then tomorrow evening, we break out, after we get that sunshine, we break out into the possibility of some strong thunderstorms around. Here comes a cold shot over the weekend. Here comes another cold shot middle of next week. Guys, multiple days over the next week to 10 days could feature lows in the 20s.
Gosh, we hate to see that when so many things are already budding and blooming out this time of year.
Yeah, it's a pattern that kind of reminds me a little bit of 2007 at this time. We had a really warm March, then all of a sudden April hit. We had 1 to 2 inches of snow on the opening day of Keeneland. Don't think that's going to happen this
And the horses raced despite the snow.
Horses were racing in it, and we had a lot of things that were killed off that year by the hard freeze.
All right, Chris, thank you.
You bet.
Live look at Lexington rush hour traffic this afternoon. We have a major problem on Versailles Road. That fatality collision has US 60 shut down just to pass the Parkway. So for now, traffic traveling from Lexington to Versailles being diverted onto the Parkway. And traffic is backing up from about the airport all the way to that point. So it's a very slow ride trying to get from Lexington to Versailles. Other drive times include Nicholasville, where nothing too unusual is happening there, 12 to 15 minutes. Out right now toward Frankfort on 64, traffic's moving well. Now back to the studio.
Mark Stoops looking for his veterans to take charge on the defensive side of the ball. Rob?
We'll hear from Denzel Ware, who gained some valuable experience last season as a redshirt freshman. And Kentucky's point guard of the future will bring back some memories of John Wall. Lee K. Howard reports from the McDonald's game next in sports.
He's the most famous killer of the past 150 years.
Paget Brewster guest stars.
So tell me what really happened to you.
Real Criminal Minds. Then, when Americans get in trouble abroad.
Where are we off to this time, boss? Cairo, Egypt.
This team will do whatever it takes to bring them home. Don't miss the new hit drama.
I suggest you get me what I'm looking for.
Are you threatening me?
I am.
Criminal Minds Beyond Borders. After Criminal Minds, new CBS tonight.
Ashley Home Store's one-day sale savings have been extended now through Monday. Buy more, save more. Up to 20% off, plus 12 months no interest. Save store-wide, like this sleek linen sofa now only $5.99. Or pay no interest for 5 full years. Ashley Home Store. This is home.
We had people make their own pizzas. They were very clear about what they didn't want.
When I see fillers, I run for the hills.
What is BHA? That doesn't sound fun.
I've never heard of those things. I don't want that.
So why in the world would you pay for those ingredients in the pizza you buy?
Get to know better. Papa John's pizzas don't have ingredients like BHA, BHT, or meat with fillers. Get one of our best deals ever. For just $9.99, get any large pizza with up to 5 toppings. That's 5 toppings for just $9.99, all with our quality guarantee.
At papajohns.com.
Nominate your favorite teacher today. Go to WKYT.com/teacher.
Hear that? Sound fast? Wait till you ride it. Lightning Rod, Dollywood's super-fast 2-time world record-breaking coaster. The world's fastest wood coaster and the world's first wood launch coaster. Lightning Rod, peeling out this spring and only at Dollywood. Buy your 2016 season pass now and save.
Stay connected to the news that matters to you. Follow WKYT on Twitter.
These creamery shakes are so rich and creamy.
I know. Finally a shake for an aficionado like myself.
Wait, you're a shake aficionado?
Not a shake aficionado. The shake aficionado.
Whoa.
Yeah. Well, perhaps you could be one too. Go ahead.
There's a coolness. It's cold.
Okay, ice cream is cold. Stop the presses, guys. Ice cream is cold. Says Pete. Print it.
New slow-churned creamery shakes are here in premium flavors like bourbon brown sugar. And all shakes are half price after 8 p.m. This is how you Sonic.
I love grocery shopping at Kroger, but sometimes life gets busy.
So I use ClickList. It's easy. I just order online. And with thousands of great items and fresh food to choose from,
I can get what I want the way I want it, then pick up my order at the store without ever leaving my car.
And for me, that's a game changer.
Order online, pick up curbside at store. We think you're gonna love ClickList. Try it now at Kroger.com/ClickList.
Ashley Home Store's one-day sale savings have been extended now through Monday. Buy more, save more. Up to 20% off, last 12 months, no interest. Save store-wide, like this sleek linen sofa, now only $5.99. Or pay no interest for 5 full years. Ashley Home Store. This is home.
McDonald's All-America game tonight at the United Center, and among the UK signees playing is the Cats' next point guard. Lee K. Howard reports from Chicago.
Well, Rob, as you know, John Calipari's had a lot of success with point guards, from John Wall to Brandon Knight and most recently Tyler Ulis. De'Aaron Fox looks to be the next guy to step in line to fulfill that role at Kentucky. He told me yesterday that he doesn't mind the lofty expectations and the pressure that come with playing that position.
I mean, it should put pressure on me, but I'm excited about it. I mean, I'm playing basketball. I'm doing what I love to do, so I won't see anything as pressure.
Fox says he likes the comparison to John Wall.
The fans, they're going to be like, you know, they always call me John Wall 2.0, or, you know, the next line of great Calipari point guards. I mean, I just want it just feels normal at this point, so I don't feel any pressure.
Evan Daniels, a national analyst for Scout.com, says Fox is a special talent.
I think the thing I like about him the most is his competitiveness. It's not just on the offensive end either. He's a very good perimeter defender. He's a guy that really buys in on that end. He's very laterally quick, and he's tough.
You know, the point guard is supposed to be the extension of the coach on the floor. So, I mean, it'll be a lot of weight on my shoulders, but I think I can handle it.
De'Aaron and the other 3 future Wildcats will be on the court tonight at 9 o'clock when the game tips off on ESPN. Here at the United Center in Chicago, Lee K. Howard, WKYT.
You know, the Kentucky defense has lost some valuable pieces from last season. Guys like Corey Johnson, Josh Forrest, Jason Hatcher, they're all gone now. Mark Stoops has some good young players returning, like Denzel Ware, who gained valuable experience last year as a redshirt freshman. But he is the only outside backer who saw much action last season.
I don't feel no pressure. When you come here, you got to become a man. You know what I mean? You can't just be a little boy no more. It ain't high school, so I mean, every day is a battle. So I don't see any pressure. I just go out there and I just play the game. Rushing the passer is really a big deal for us right now, because that's one thing that we really struggle at. So the emphasis is really tough, trying to win every pass rush drill.
And jockey Calvin Burrell, a Hall of Famer and a 3-time winner of the Kentucky Derby, is retiring. Burrell is the only jockey to win 3 derbies in a 4-year stretch. Street Sense in 2007, Long Shot Mind That Bird in 2009, and here was Super Saver in 2010. One of the most popular jocks at Churchill Downs in Keeneland, over 33 years of riding, Calvin has won 5,146 races. He is 49 years old. His career never really got untracked until he was 40. We'll be right back.